So to find out how much impact this immigration debate will have this November, we go to our own Frank Luntz, who just this weekend hosted a focus group of Arizona voters. Frank.
Sean, the only word that I can describe in Arizona is chaos. This was the headline of the newspaper back on Friday. Dozens arrested, hundreds protesting. This is ground zero for the entire immigration debate for America. Let me just ask you, we got Arizona voters here. Is it chaos in this state? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so you agree it's chaos. Is anyone doing anything about it?
Washington's not.
We're trying. Our senator's trying to, our governor's trying to in town, but they're not getting anywhere with any support from the federal government.
So who do you blame?
We blame the federal government.
Who do you blame?
The federal government for not sealing the border.
Who do you blame?
The federal government.
Who do you blame?
When the federal government sues the state, that's wrong.
Yes.
I blame the federal government.
Jan Brewer's approval ratings are through the roof.
Governor.
Speaking for us.
The governor.
Governor Brewer is speaking for us, and she's taken on the federal bureaucracy, and we're hoping she's going to prevail.
I'm just upset that we're politicizing this issue. You know, it was what, since 1985 we haven't done anything, and we decided because we're in such a mess that we had to take matters in our own hands.
70% of this country wants something to be done about this border issue and get it taken care of. All they got to do is pass one little thing at a time, and this could all be done. Seal the borders up, and then start working on the rest of it, not try to do one big package and try to do everything at once.
Richard?
I believe that the root cause of the whole situation is the voters. I mean, we do
You
not...
blame the people in this room.
That's correct. I mean, we are not united.
Do you accept that blame?
No.
Go ahead.
We are not united. We don't have a show of force when it comes to issues like this.
We don't have a poll location.
The immigration law.
Define show of force. What do you mean by that?
People coming in buses from other states to support the immigration, or to support the destruction of the immigration law. There was a poor turnout for supporters that were pro the immigration law.
That statement he just made will be rebutted in the next election.
Explain that.
People are very angry down here. We are tired of this being a politicized issue. This has nothing to do with racism. It has with national integrity.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
How many of you, by show of hands, says this has nothing to do with racism? Then why is the Hispanic and Latino community so against this?
I think the reason is that we need to take race out. As I said, I think we should just say if you're stopped, no matter who you are, you have to check your immigration status. Doesn't matter about race. Just take it totally off the table. I think people that are complaining about it are trying to protect illegals.
It's been built up in the press as very racist. It's the Mexican community, legal and illegal, the American white community.
But do you blame them?
Yeah, I do blame them because it's only half the problem.
Yeah.
But Dave, honestly, think of the word you just used, the American white community. Aren't they the American Hispanic community too?
That's not the perception anymore because the legal community is suffering just as much as the illegal community.
I think it's ridiculous that people have to carry papers with them. We don't have to carry papers unless we travel. But
you
know it's going to be.
Do you carry a driver's license?
Exactly. I do.
When you go abroad, you carry a passport?
I do.
Yeah. What is so wrong with carrying a simple card that shows your birth certificate? It is as thin as paper.
As citizens of this state, we are required by law of even walking down the road to produce identification to any officer that requests it. Why aren't they? And they're already in this country illegally.
Do you want to respond?
Carrying a driver's license is not proof that you're a U.S. citizen.
Right. It is.
You would have to carry your birth certificate. I'm not going to carry my birth certificate.
You have to
Why not?
have 3 forms of ID to
Why
get a
not?
driver's
Why should I have to
license.
carry papers in my own country?
But you have to provide the Department of Motor Vehicle
No,
with
I have my
birth
driver's
license.
license. I'm not going to carry my birth certificate.
Why
And the only way
not?
this law can be enforced is if the police ask every person to show their papers, and it can't be just a driver's license. It has to be a birth certificate.
We should have a national ID card.
How many of you, by show of hands, support a national ID card? Raise your hands. Now, Sean, 1 second. Sean, I want to make this point to the people watching at home. A significant number of these people voted for Barack Obama. And so what you've got in Arizona right now is an issue that actually transcends ideology. It transcends politics. Remember that 70% of the people in Arizona support this law, and that means that a whole lot of Obama people support this law. Why do you think it does transcend politics?
It's a safety issue of the border. It has nothing to do with illegal Mexicans. It has to do with the fact that people are able to cross into our border and bring danger to our country. It doesn't matter where they came from. They're coming here.
You agree with this?
I agree as well as being out driving. If I get into an accident and I have an accident with somebody who's illegal, how do I hold them accountable? How is my country protecting me as a legal citizen?
You're nodding your head.
Well, my niece had that accident. She was in a Jeep. She got thrown out, hit by an illegal. She had to pay for all her doctor bills. My sister and brother-in-law had to help pay out. Nothing happened.
How many of you have heard of stories like that before? Okay, so it really is wide. Are any of you actually afraid? Yeah. You're afraid.
Don't go to South Phoenix.
I'm afraid of our security and our lives and our protection. Obama is not doing this, and it's evident that they don't care.
Karen, you agree or disagree with that?
I disagree. I'm not scared. They don't scare me. But I do believe they are raising the cost of everything for us here.
So for you, it's a financial issue?
Yeah.
So why would terrorists worry about coming across on airplanes when they can come across our southern border and have any city in the country they want?
We got people south of Phoenix that are scared to come out of their houses at night because it's the corridor coming up from Mexico with all the drugs, M16s, also their military armies almost coming up through our border just to take over, do whatever they want.
Come on, armies, M16s, come on.
There are more than our armies are.
It's that bad.
Yes.
A couple months ago, we had a gentleman that went into a convenience store who was Mexican, didn't pay for his beer. Came out of the store, another gentleman noticed this, came out of the store and said, hey, you didn't pay for this. He turned around, shot him in the head. His family helped him escape back to Mexico. And my question would be to you and everybody in this room is what is the Mexican government trying to do to provide this guy to bring him to justice? He killed a family.
Okay.
This guy had 3 kids.
We got to get out. We're out of time. So let me do this. Who do you think is more responsible for what has happened? The Mexican government or the American government?
The American government.
How many of you blame the American government more? Sean, somebody in Washington better be watching. Somebody in Washington better be paying attention. Because I don't believe that is this just Arizona, or do you think this is happening nationwide? Nationwide. This is going to be a big political issue in November, and we're going to see just 90 days from now how much of an impact it has. Back to you.
All right, we